Hello.
Hey, hey.
Hey, I don't see you just yet.
Yeah, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, what's up?
Hey.
How
Hey,
are
it's
you?
nice. I'm good. It's nice to meet you, kind of.
Hmm.
Yeah,
This is how the world meets nowadays, right?
I guess so in this so-called pandemic era, or hopefully it's over. I
I
hope
know.
so.
Where are you at?
North Dakota.
Oh, okay. Was
So
there
I'm
ever a pandemic in North Dakota?
not really not with all the drinking and stuff. People
Yeah,
just
I didn't think.
they were like, fuck this shit. We're not gonna wear masks and stuff. They actually deemed masks illegal here.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow, that's interesting. That's crazy.
yeah. So it it was nice that we didn't have to wear them too much. And I kind of felt bad for everyone else in the world.
Right.
But like you
Right.
would never know that it hit here because the bars were always packed still.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like North Dakota is one of those places that just never shut down from the pandemic, right?
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, I
Cool.
was just I went out the other night and the bars were just full. And even
Slamming.
a few months ago, like it was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. That's cool. Well, unfortunately, it's just me. Wes is at Limp Bizkit rehearsals,
Oh,
and
that's
Josh
right.
Ball is
Yeah.
buying stuff.
Well, this is perfect anyway, because
Okay.
like I'm just honored that you said yes to do this interview. I mean, your story is so it really is so inspiring. Like I
Hmm.
remember when Randy Fly from Lamb of God posted that Blackcraft is the first business that had a pentagram on a stock.
Oh
On,
yeah, 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 yeah. We were doing like a dating app thing, um, and then yeah, unfortunately, the dating app thing never really fully panned out, but we learned a lot, you know. So
yeah,
Randy's such a good dude. It's funny you bring him up because I'm always trying to watch shows that to make that Space Zebra show better, and I just came across that metal show. Do you remember that metal show?
yeah,
And he was wearing one of our designs on the show. I just watched it last night, and I didn't realize he did that. So that was funny. I was just thinking of him.
that's awesome. Yeah, I love Lamb of God. I've seen them so many times over the years.
Yeah,
They're
great band, great
they
band.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with Damnation Vault, we honor our veterans in every single interview. Well, we started doing that. I started doing that a couple years ago. So, like, I want to take this time to first and foremost honor all of the veterans who are going to be watching this and
Mhm.
just give love and thank you because without them, we would not be doing this interview if it weren't for them.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
and my first question is, what does it mean to you to support our veterans, first of all?
And I was really raised by my grandfather. He was in the Korea War. So seeing what he went through, it means the world to me, right? I mean, that is our freedom, right? I
Yeah,
mean, without them, like you said it best. I mean, we would not be doing this interview, and yeah, we would not be where we're at today without them. So I'm always very thankful for that. It was a big part of my grandfather's life, which obviously, he helped raise me. So it was a big part of my life growing up. So very
yeah,
thankful.
yeah. Like, what do you think the like you have some powerful messages in Blackcraft, that is definitely for sure. Like, what do you think has impacted veterans the most with your messages?
Well, man, that's well. I mean, our two biggest slogans: "Believe in yourself" and "Create your own future." Right?
Mhm.
Um, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess those meanings to me, I feel like, especially over the time people write in about those meanings, I guess everyone takes those meanings and yeah, I don't really know how to answer that because I feel like those two slogans, it's whatever people put in their brains with them, right?
Or
And like,
or like how do you or rather how do you feel Blackcraft or Blackcraft connects to veterans or veterans connect to Blackcraft?
hmm, um, that's a really good question.
Thank you.
No, that's a good question. I mean, I feel like Blackcraft is very, create your own future. I mean, but the believe in yourself message, right? I mean, when you're out there doing what you're doing, as a veteran, I mean, you got to really believe in yourself, right? You got to,
Right.
I mean, that's a strong slogan. Yeah, I would think the believe in yourself message. And it's funny because we do have a lot of veterans actually that love Blackcraft. A lot of people in military, active, active military. I get messages all the time. And it's funny because that slogan does resonate a lot,
Yeah.
with veterans for sure.
Yeah, and obviously you are a huge fan of music, and as we all know, music heals. It really does.
Yeah.
And a lot of veterans, they say without certain bands that they honestly don't think they would be alive right now if it weren't for being able to listen to them out there. And
Right.
I know that you have talked about, as I watched some of your other interviews, that you are a big advocate for mental health,
Mhm.
and music and mental health go hand in hand. And like, how can I word this question?
Yeah.
uh, like, okay, so what exactly was it that inspired you to like speak out about mental health?
Yeah, well, I used to play in bands, and if I wasn't playing in bands, I was working for bands. So I got to tour a lot, right? So I started Blackcraft in 2012. So I graduated high school in 2006. And for about 6 years before I started Blackcraft, I was touring, either, like I was saying, playing in bands or working for bands. And through that, it was like one of those things where being on the road and connecting, with people,
Hmm.
sitting there talking to them, and then you kind of realize, like, we all go through the hardships, right? We got ups and downs. We're all
Right,
human.
right.
And it's funny because the first band I got to tour with was a band called 18 Visions.
Oh yeah.
It was a band that I really grew up loving, and they were like, a band I really looked up to. And I think, like, I was what, 17 when I went on my first tour with them.
Mhm.
And something connected, to answer your question on that. Like, I remember thinking these bands were, like, in my head as a young kid, I thought these bands, well, they were touring, they had record deals, they're playing sold out shows. They didn't have mental health problems, or they didn't have bad days, right? Like,
Right.
I was just a young kid. Like, I felt like that was the dream, but being connected with them, you realize, hey, we are all human.
Yeah.
And we all have good days and bad days. And then I just kind of started seeing how, especially that band, like, interacted with their fans in a really
Mhm.
positive way. They were a band that, do you remember 18 Visions?
Yeah, I do
Okay.
actually. I never got to see them, but I do.
Okay. Mick Morris, the bass player, was one of my best friends. He actually ended up passing away later on in life, but he was a guy that I really looked up to in the band, because he was the guy with the crazy hair, or the crazy clothes, and wearing eyeliner. And I would just see how he interacted with kids, and I would just sit back, and because Mick was the rock star, and I was doing merch for them at the time, and he would do signings at the merch booth. And what I loved the most was kids would come up and be like, dude, you saved my life. Like, without you, I don't think I would be here today.
Yeah.
And it just kind of put a perspective on life that, hey, even the biggest rock stars have good days and bad days. So with all that, over the years, that 6 years of touring and getting to connect with, fans, or fans of bands I worked for, whatever it was, it was just kind of like, I never really went to therapy, but that was like
Music
my
is
therapy.
therapy.
Yeah, it is. But then connecting with people,
Yeah.
connecting and talking, like with the Space Zebra show, we have a Discord channel. I'm not sure if you're in it, but
I
uh,
I signed up
oh,
yesterday.
oh, awesome. I just love connecting with people, and there's people in the Discord that go through things. And it's cool. If I'm having a bad day, I'll hop in the Discord, or I'll stream and connect.
Yeah.
So mental health is such a serious thing, and I think if we could all kind of come together and help each other, that's kind of what Blackcraft, how it started, was,
Yeah.
we started it with $100 bill. It was one of those things where, hey, it don't matter what you believe in, who you are, um, hey, we're here for you. This is a family. Come join us, and
Yeah.
that's kind of how it started, I guess.
Yeah. That it really is inspiring. My next question is like, if you would be willing to share, like, what have been some of your dark times where music has really brought you out of it, or
Yeah, I
like
mean,
any certain bands? or certain albums, certain songs that really resonated with you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was going through a weird time in my life growing up. I mean, definitely, the early Trustkill era bands. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Trustkill Records. It was like Bleeding Through, 18
Yeah,
Visions, those kind of bands.
yeah.
Uh,
I actually
those
saw
bands.
Bleeding Through.
Oh, you did?
It was
Cool.
one of my first festivals,
Oh,
Ozfest
yeah.
2004.
Yeah, exactly. You know, just kind of growing up where I grew up, it was very, it was a town, probably very similar to like a North Dakota, I guess. I grew up in the suburbs of Pittsburgh, like out in the woods, actually. You know, where, I graduated with 40 kids in my class. There's no
Wow.
red light, there's no red lights. There's nowhere to go, if you're not like a country music loving bonfire person. You didn't really fit in there. So
Yep.
it was very hard growing up around that, especially having a whole different vision of wearing eyeliner to the skinny girl jeans to, painting your nails at 14. So you could imagine going to a school like that would be very complicated. So it kind of left me, in a weird spot. Not having a lot of friends growing up, or not having anything in common with people. And I always kind of felt like I had a vision, but you couldn't share it with people around you, which I talk to a lot of people, like I say in the Discord or on Instagram. I'll respond to everybody. And there's a lot of people, oddly enough, that kind of deal with that problem where you just kind of feel like you're the complete outcast.
Yes.
You just feel like you're lost. But, what my biggest thing was, I would funnel that I guess you'd call it anxiety, or that overwhelming feeling you would get. Instead of trying to sit around and be, let my thoughts overtake, I would just throw on like an 18 Visions record, or a Bleeding Through record, or Avenged Sevenfold record. And it would be one of those things where you'd be like, oh, it's okay. These guys get me. And these guys,
Yeah.
these people around me, they're not on my level. I want to be on their level.
Yes.
So music definitely dug me out. And fast forward to, 20, my daughter's 5 now. That was a very hard transition, right? Being a dad, not being with, my daughter's mom, and there, I went through a separation that was just brutal. It was so mentally taxing. It does something to you, but music was there for me for sure.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
crucial.
And even going to live shows, you could be having some of the worst days ever. And the second you get in that crowd, it's like everything just goes away.
Yeah. And to add to that point, we started the technically Space Zebra Twitch channel
Mhm.
was the Blackcraft channel. And we never wanted to do a Blackcraft Twitch channel. It's just when the pandemic hit, I was getting flooded of messages, people being like, man, shows are gone, or, live
Yeah.
music's gone. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get on Twitch. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's just get on there. Let's bring in unsigned artists. Let's connect. Let's try to build this community. And then what's that, a year and a half ago now? Or a year ago, I guess. I don't even know when the pandemic hit anymore.
Yeah, like March last year or something.
Yeah. Fast forward to now, now we partnered with DWP, the
Mhm.
leading rock festival promoter. And now we just, it was such a crucial transition, because now it was like a bigger platform, and we're bringing together all these bands and live performances on the show.
I know,
So
it really is amazing.
yeah. But it's funny, because so many people will write in like, this show helps me, and this show's my therapy, and thank you for everything you do. And I respond back, I'm like, hey, thank you for even fucking showing up to the chat, because you're my therapy. So we're all feeding off each other, and it's so positive and so great. I'm just thankful.
Yeah, I love the Starving Artist. Like
That's
that
cool.
that was I watched it twice. It was so inspiring. I mean, to hear your story, Wes's story, Josh's,
Mhm.
it just was like, it's like, wow, if they can do it, then I can too.
Absolutely. And the biggest thing with your point there, if you could do it, I could do it kind of thing. Like, every day I'm just learning, and I'm so fortunate to be around a Wes Borland or, you know, Josh Balls, DWP guys. The DWP guys are some of the most, I understand why they are the leading, you know, rock festival promoters. These guys, their mindsets, the team they put around them, their vision. You can have all those things, but it's about execution, right?
Right.
And anybody that's listening to this right now that, you know, that's, you know, if you got a plan and you got a vision, you got to go execute. And that's what DWP, you know, is really good at, is execution. So every day, you know, I go to their office. I just want to be there every day. I'm like, hey, how can I be better? And I'm just trying to learn every day. And anything's possible. Are you kidding? I'm from a town called Avella, Pennsylvania. Look it up. I think our total town's 800 people. You know, so
Wow, that's small.
anything is possible, and you got to put yourself around the right people. But most importantly, it goes back to the Blackcraft slogan, you know, create your own future and believe in yourself.
Yeah, it really is amazing. And speaking of Danny Wimmer's presents, like some of the shows that have been announced, the lineups are so incredible. And we're
Yeah.
I'm so excited that festivals are coming back, because
Yeah.
that's just, it's going to do so much mentally for hundreds of thousands of people.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's music. It moves people, man. I have music on 24/7. I sleep to music, legit. Like I have to have it on 24/7. It's just like it's like my drug is literally music, you know.
Who are the artists that you have on right now?
Oh man, you know, I am such a fan of everything. Like, let me go to my Apple Music right now. I can tell you what I literally listen to EDM to hip. I'm a big hip hop fan. I love rap. I love EDM.
Nice.
Obviously, I love rock. But I like that feel good music, you know. There's an EDM artist, Sony Fodera and Ella Erie. Song's called Wired. It's just one of those. It's just one of those songs that puts you in a really good place. Just that real feel good, you know.
Yeah.
But I got music for every mood. It just depends. Like like what mood we talking? We talking like I want to feel some deep shit right now, and I want to feel a little sad, but I channel that sadness into positive shit. Right when I come out of listening to it, I got a playlist for that. Are we having a pool party? I got a playlist. Are we in my car? Like where are we going? I got everything for you. But I will say this: Kiss is on in my house 24/7. It'll go EDM song, EDM song, EDM song, sneak in a Kiss track, hip hop song, sneak in a Kiss track, you know. So I
See,
always
that's how I am with Pantera. Like I'm a huge Pantera fan, so everything, like every playlist has them.
Pantera is great. I love Kiss. I love their music. You know, that's a band that growing up my dad loved, but I never fully appreciated it or understood it, you know. But as I got older and I started a brand, I was like, holy shit, Kiss, whoa, you got to like slow it down and really take them for what they are, because they built a band in the 70s, right? That's like how they looked, and that shit was not cool. Like you couldn't, that shit was not, you know, cool in the 70s. To build, it's got to be a multi-billion-dollar franchise at this point.
Yeah.
Selling fucking air guitars or air string guitars in a bag with air. Are you kidding me? That's fucking marketing geniuses right there. You know? That is fucking that's it for me. You sold air in I can't. You sold air string guitar, you win, you know. But yeah, I listen to a lot of things. I mean, you know, I always, you know, I'm a big Avenged Sevenfold fan. Those guys are good friends of mine. I can really appreciate, you know, getting to know those guys as friends. I consider them brothers. That's a band that I always tell the guys, I wish everyone could get a real in-depth look of you guys, because just the way they think and how they treat people, and they're talented, but you know, they're always thinking big moves, right? And I love being around those guys. So I'm always listening to Avenged Sevenfold, always so inspired by them. Sinister Gates, you know, sick brag real quick, but I just got a new house and he just sent me one of his guitars. So I'm very excited to pick that up. I'm listening to a lot of Falling in Reverse. You know, it's my good friend Ronnie over there. What he has done, you know, during this time, the pandemic, he evolved and you know, got on Twitch and, you know, did all these big live streams, and, you know, seeing where he's at today is huge. Let's see, what else am I listening to? I always got Limp Bizkit on, you know. You know, Wes has played me some stuff, and I can't give away too much, obviously, that I'm very excited for. Yeah, I mean, what else is on the list? Kiss. I mean, back to Kiss. So I guess my rotation right now would be like a Kiss, Avenged Sevenfold, Limp Bizkit, sneak in some hip hop tracks, and then I got some EDM tracks.
Nice.
You know? Producer
Nice.
Jake just walked in the room. Jake, I'm doing an interview right now.
With who?
Would you like producer Jake to come on? Maybe we
Fuck
could
yeah.
save Jake for the end, yeah? Maybe save producer Jake for the end, you know? Look, here's producer Jake. You got any questions for producer Jake?
Hey, I love your show. Rainbow Llamacorn and I love your guys' show. Like, we're so inspired by it. We were laughing hysterically yesterday. And
Here's the rock star. Here's a rock star.
No.
You know, for anyone listening to Jake Miller, the rock star.
I guess.
Jenna, let me interview you real quick while we got producer Jake
Well,
here. Wait, come on.
Okay.
It's
About
fine.
the office.
So, what was your favorite moment about Jake yesterday?
Oh,
he was
like,
going,
all of the yelling, like every time a new subscriber, you were just so into
Where you going,
it.
Jake?
It was so much fun. It was
Yeah.
so much fun to watch.
Jake's great. Jake, I think Jake should have his own show.
Yeah.
See?
Like, you have this energy. It's so awesome. It was just fun to watch yesterday.
Yeah, Jake's great. I'd be lost without Jake.
Yeah. Like, I also read that you have read The Secret, which I read a while back, and that was very inspiring for, you know, manifestation and vision boarding. And like, what is a story where you first found that book?
Yeah. So, am I breaking up or is that you?
Sure. Let's see.
It's me. Super staticky on my end. Technical difficulties. When Jake shows up, that's what happens.
I'm going to mute my mic and unmute it.
You're on mute. You're still
Can you hear
muted. I hear you, but it's like real staticky.
Yeah, it's weird.
Do you want me to try to call back? Flip it, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, let me hang up and
Okay.
all right. Okay, it looks like it started.
Yeah, it's
Okay, there we go.
cool.
All right. So, yeah, going back to after all the technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties. Can you mesh those together?
I could, yeah.
Okay. Or if we can redo it, it's fine. Whatever's easiest for you.
All right. Well, I'll see how it is when I watch it back. But yeah, with The Secret, you mentioned that you love that book and that it really inspired you, and you've said, like, even in Starving Artists, that you're all about vision boarding and manifesting. And so what was it that really drew you towards The Secret?
Yeah. So I'm not a religious guy. I don't, the Bible's not for me. Nothing, of that sense. But, I started doing my own research on the internet, and just kind of, I knew about vision boards, and I was really, this is a pretty long answer to this, I guess. I've always had these weird, like, instances where, like, I would think of somebody, and then, like, randomly they would, like, text me out of the blue, like somebody from high school that I haven't heard from in 8 years. I would just be, like, randomly chilling somewhere, and I would, like, I just thought of this person. Oh, I wonder how they're doing. I'd, like, fucking go check my Instagram, and, like, they would, like, DM me, or they would have, like, followed me or something weird. Like, a lot of weird things, like with my mom, I would be thinking of her, and boom, she'll call. Or I would be thinking of, like, there was one instance where I'll never forget, and all this stuff was kind of happening right before I started Blackcraft. I started getting really in tune with it. And I'll never forget this one time. My mom picks me up somewhere at my friend's house, and we were just driving back, and she's like, Bobby, she's like, who was that female artist that I think she overdosed? She was like a musician, and I was like, I don't know. There's like a million of those, you know? And she's like, no, you know who it is. I can't think of the song off the top of my head. And I'm like, Mom, I don't know. There's so many, you know? And I'm like, was it Amy Winehouse? And then boom, Amy Winehouse came on the radio like 0.01 second later. And I was like, whoa. And like those things just stuck with me, you know? I'd have like real vivid dreams of things. And then, you know, like I was saying earlier in the call, being from where I'm from, you know, looking up to bands like 18 Visions, Bleeding Through, Avenged Sevenfold, you know, Dennis Rodman was one of my biggest idols growing up. And I've always wanted to live in Orange County, California. And coming, you know, being a kid who, you know, started a company with $100 bill, never went to school, and got in with some bands and started touring and all those things. I'm like, dude, this all just didn't happen out of luck, you know? I mean, definitely, a lot of hard work, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for sure. A lot of sweat and tears. Definitely, but I couldn't figure out what this all meant. You know, I was trying to understand like all these weird things that were going on in my life. Like I just didn't understand it. And another good example of this is I was on tour with my band. I used to play in this band, and we're on tour, and you know, the band name was called The Witch Was Right. And I saw this psychic lady, not on tour. I was off tour. And this was a big moment in my life where I was like, there's something crazy going on with me. I can't put my finger on. I sound like a fucking lunatic if you're just listening to me right now. But you know, there was this weird moment in my life, right, where I wanted more. And I was very unhappy, you know, working for bands and playing in bands, but I was very thankful and very grateful. And think through those whole 6 years of touring, 7 years of touring, all that, you know, great. I was just always grateful. Every morning I'd wake up, whether I was sleeping in a van or we were in a tour bus or wherever it was, I was just grateful. And I always wanted to learn more. And I felt like I had a bigger calling coming my way. But I had a little bit of a vision, but all these weird things started happening to me, right? And there was this one moment where I'll never forget this. This is to answer your question with the secret, but I was supposed to go out on tour with a band, and I didn't want to do it because I felt like if I kept going down that road, I was never really going to escape touring. Which obviously touring is great. It just wasn't. I was just over it, and I wanted to start a business. And you know, I always wanted to have a daughter. Which, you know, oddly enough, now I have a daughter. But I was just this weird. I've always had this like weird intuition, but I never understood it until you really tap into it. I think we all have it, right?
Right.
Some of us don't really understand how powerful our brain and our intuition really is. But the pivotal moment for me with The Secret was I was getting ready to go on tour, didn't want to do the tour. The night before I was going on this tour, I was like so over it. I was with my girlfriend at the time. This is 2012, right before I started Blackcraft. I might have just launched Blackcraft, so it was just, you know, very early baby, you know, a couple weeks old. I was with my girlfriend, my buddy and his girlfriend, and we were all like in this big bed watching a movie, you know, like we were just like it was like a movie theater, but it was like a bed thing. And I remember falling asleep and being like, man, I don't want to go on this tour. So I'm sleeping and I could hear all of a sudden I shoot outside my body, and I'm like standing overside my body, like sleep paralysis, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. You know, I try not to
body experience.
all this weird shit, you know, but you know, I'm just being open in what it was. I'm laying there and I like shoot outside my body. And, you know, keep in mind, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing drugs, you know, right at those times in my life. So very sober. It wasn't like, oh, he took weed or he took a mushroom. It was nothing like that. Very sober. So shoot outside my body, and I could hear someone in the house. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. No one else should be in the house right now. And I could see everyone in, like, we all fell asleep watching the movie. So I could see everyone sleeping in the bed. And I'm like, holy shit, who's in the fucking house? You know? So all of a sudden I could hear this woman getting closer to the bedroom. And they're like, I was like, oh my God. I'm like, wake up. I'm trying to wake everyone up. No one will wake up. Lady appears in front of the door. And you know, the wall that we were watching the movie on obviously was a white wall, you know, right? And the movie was projected on, and all of a sudden this like dark figure, like this like black energy, like dark energy comes into the room and goes across the white wall. That's how I could tell it was like a black, like, you know, like a silhouette, like this whole like dark energy come across the wall. And it comes straight over to me and starts like choking me out, right? And I like wake up and I'm like freaking out. I'm like so terrified, like scared. I've never had anything like that happen to me in my life. I was like, holy fucking shit. I don't know if I was just really stressed out about, you know, touring. I didn't want to do it anymore, whatever. So I go back asleep. I fall back asleep like an hour later because I'm stressed. I wake everybody up, you know? So as soon as I fall back asleep, the girl's back, the woman's back in my dreams, but she's downstairs in the house being like, haha, you're gonna go on tour, like slamming cupboards and stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So instantly that all goes away. And then I shoot into outer space. I'm sober. Promise you I'm sober.
Wow.
I'm in outer space now, right? And you know, like on Google Earth, how you can like zoom in and like zooms you real fast to the Earth. So I'm in outer space and I'm like looking around and I can see the whole world. And when I look down, the Earth is like it's like bouncing like a basketball kind of. Like it's like move. I can see it spinning, but it's moving like a little bit of a dribble, like a basketball. And then all of a sudden, it's like someone zooms me in all fast on Google Earth, and I shoot out of outer space, come down, and I can see the ground. I see the whole ground where I'm living, and it starts shaking all crazy. It goes dark, and then all of a sudden I see death. Like I see you know, like I see my dad's face, I see my uncle's face. I'm like, oh, this is like really fucking weird and creepy. And I wake up and I'm like, all right, I'm up for the day. Fuck this. I'm up, you know? So Jim Summers, my business partner at the time, he was working another job and we lived together. And, you know, I was living that rock star life where I was never up early back then, you know. But this time I was up at like 5 a.m. and he was getting ready to go to work. And he's like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, you know, I'm sitting at the coffee table. My hair's like all over the fucking place. I'm like, dude, like, he's like, why are you awake? I'm like, dude, I can't even explain what just happened to me. I'm all fucking stressed out. I got to get on this flight, you know, to go on tour. He's like, what the hell? And I'm like, dude, I think there's going to be some gnarly earthquakes today or something crazy. I saw it. And I feel like, I don't want to say it, but I feel like a relative or something crazy is going to die today or something weird. I had this weird shit happen to me. And he's like, what? Swear on everything. He was driving to work. We had an earthquake. Mexico got hit with an earthquake. Idaho got hit with an earthquake. It was like this is like, you can look it up, whatever year that was. All these earthquakes happened. And then like 5 hours later, 6 hours later, my mom texts me. She's like, hey, you should reach out to your dad and you know, your uncle, because one of their best friends died. And like, it was fucking weird. And I was so fucking vibed out that I was like, okay, do not get on this fucking airplane. Like, you're not meant to go on tour. What's my dumbass do? Go to the airport, right? Now, I'm in Orange County, California, right? So weather is always perfect. You know, if there's a plane delay, they figure it out. I mean, there's no issues, right? So I'm getting ready to go on tour and I get to the gate. My flight's delayed. I'm like, okay, Bobby, that's a sign, bro. Don't go. Like, this is a sign from the universe. Like, don't go. And I've already had like the roughest morning, you right? So 2 hours goes by. They're like, flight's canceled. I'm like, what? So I go up to the lady and I go, why is the flight canceled? She's like, we have no idea what's going on. I was like, oh fuck, I gotta be in like Minnesota to like for the tour, because like they had their whole routing to pick me up in Minnesota, and then we were driving. Like, it was like it was like boom, boom, boom. So they're like, well, there's another flight. It's leaving at this gate. You got to go. And I'm like, when I commit to something, I don't quit, right? So I'm like, well, I can't bail on these guys. So I go down to the gate. They're like, here's your ticket, go. Go to give them my ticket. They're like looking at my, this is back when they would like scan your ID at the gate, even, you know? And because I had to like check in, they're like, oh, this isn't you. I was like, what? That's me on the ID. They're like, yeah, but the ticket name and your ID don't match. This is for somebody else. This isn't you. I'm like,
Wow.
holy fucking shit. Long story short, I caught a flight. I went. And when I was out on that tour, we were at PF Chang's, and I came across this psychic lady who, it was so freaky because I lost my psychic's number that originally was telling me all these crazy things about my life. This lady picked me out of PF Chang's and was like, I want to do a reading on you. I'm like, me? She's like, yeah, your energy. I felt it when you walked in the room. I would just love to do a free reading on you. Your energy is so crazy. And, you know, she did a crazy reading on me. And long story short, she's like, you need to quit touring. You need to go home. That business that you're trying to do right now, I don't know what it is. It's going to change your life forever, and you need to be there. I was like, holy fucking shit. Like I had all this stuff going on. This is crazy. What? Like, I felt all this. She's like, yeah, you need to leave. And your girlfriend, she's cheating on you. And she told me with who, and everything was true. Everything was 100% to a T.
Wow.
And that's when I was like, okay, I got to dive down this research a little bit more, and I got to figure out like what is going on. Cause I didn't really know what vision boards were. I didn't understand manifestation, you know? But I found this book, The Secret. And, you know, when you would Google like manifestation or weird energy shit, Secret would always come up. So I read the book, and then I got really big into, you know, a big thing of my success that I don't talk about a lot, much more than The Secret, to be honest with you, was a lady named Kelly Howe. She does guided meditation. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Music.
Okay.
You know, attracting love, attracting wealth, attracting health, all those different things. And I would just put that on, you know, much like we were talking about music. That was my savior, was these meditation tapes. And I just started recently getting back into it. So anytime yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever listened to any Jason Stevenson guided meditations?
No, you know, I'm a weirdo when it comes to that stuff. That I found Kelly Howe, and I just will put it on repeat. You know, I'm loyal to her right now. You know, but I'm open. I'm open. You know, but yeah, that's also like a music thing to me. You know, and because I feel what happens, and I feel like where a lot of people get discouraged, and now it even happens to me, right? You start getting some momentum with success, whether it's, you know, some financially, or you start seeing followers, or you start seeing people interested in what you're doing. And then there comes, you know, there's a plateau, right? And then how do you get to that next level, right?
Right.
So, I feel like any level of success you get to, you hit that. And I think that could be the frustrating part for a lot of people, because you feel like it's just going to keep snowballing. And sometimes it does, right? But sometimes you hit head on. And when I hit those moments, you know, I will listen to music, but will go through all my guided meditation tapes and try to open those doors of manifestation back up.
All right, those really do help. I mean, the ones that I listen to, I mean, there's something to be said about how, like, even with confidence or anxiety and stuff like that, it's like somebody else understands and is helping you through that.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit of how powerful our brains are. You know, if anybody listening to this, I mean, just Google Avella, Pennsylvania. You know, if you're listening to this, and you can see where I came from. You know, it's definitely a spot where the odds are against you. You know, there's no opportunity there. And that's where the Create Your Own Future slogan came from in my head. You know, it was like, we had to go out, Jim and I had to go out and get it done. You know, we had to go figure it out. Jim was working, you know, jobs, making what, $30 a day. But he would be working 12 hours, you know, or riding his bicycle 6 miles just to get to work. Just kind of whatever it took to get it done, right? Was our thing. And even here, I mean, here we are 10 years later almost now. And I'm so not where I want to be. You know, I'm very thankful and I'm very appreciative. This is funny because I just got a new house up here in LA. I live with, you know, producer Jake. Jake's my roommate. And this was the first house that I've lived in where I really can look out and be like, wow, I'm just a kid. I was just a kid, you know, from a very small town. Odds always against me. It was just one of those things where the manifestation's real, right? The vision's real. Put yourself around good people. You will win. You know, you work
Yeah.
hard, you work your ass off, you do whatever it takes, take chances, you know, lose, losing's great, you know. People don't really people undervalue losing, I think personally. I think losing is a great thing. I think it teaches you a lot. Um,
Mhm.
you know, and maybe you don't view it as losing. You know, I know some people are like, "There's no losing, just lessons," and I guess you could look at it that way.
Yeah.
But whether you call it losing or lessons, I think it's great. You know, I think it's so healthy, and it's funny because, you know, I over the years I've got to, you know, a lot of my mentors are some very very high end, you know, successful guys who have built from the ground up to multi-billion-dollar companies to whatever, and you know, I'm so honored that I'm just grateful to that they've kind of mentored me and taken me under their wing, but they all got the craziest stories of losses or lessons, you know, of getting rocked, and it's healthy. But I think the biggest thing is you got to take the risk.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You know,
And
it's like
keep pushing yourself, keep pushing forward.
yeah, and in those moments where you know, where I think the what makes or breaks people to go to the next levels or to, you know, fall back. Um, and I'm guilty of this is when you hit that plateau or you hit that dead end, what it feels like a dead end. I think it's about taking that time and being like, how can I be better, or what can I do to open this dead end up? You know, like road's closed here, but you know we're doing a little work on the road right now. It's gonna take what's it gonna take? A week, 6 months, a year, 2 years, but you know it's just about that feeling. And I've gotten better at this because I still do have really bad anxiety. I mean, it's something that's just something that don't go away, which obviously mental health and anxiety, but I've gotten to a point now where I've realized something about anxiety where it's there, right? It's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. Whether, you know, you can work out, eat better, get sunshine, all those things obviously help and that gives you a fair shot, right? But I kind of view it differently now. Like when I have it, I it's overwhelming. Of course, there's some days where you don't want to get out of bed, which is fine. You know, if you're feeling that way, go through it. You know, that everyone deals with it differently. But I've gotten to the point where I really try to bundle all of that craziness feeling and put it into something positive, whether it be, you know, helping my friends or spending more time with my daughter or funneling, trying to find a positive funnel to it some way, somehow. Um, that's a key. That's a helper for sure.
What do you think is the, or what do you feel is the biggest lesson that you have learned throughout your journey?
Oh, man, there's so many. Biggest lesson I learned is, I mean, there's a few. I mean, time is so valuable. You know, you don't get back time. So I'm very, very mindful of my time now, you know, where maybe before I was like, maybe I'll just go down here and party a little bit, and blowing off steam and stuff is healthy. Um, but you know, there's only 24 hours in a day. We all have the same 24 hours, right? To some degree, right? So, being very mindful of my time is a big lesson now that I have a daughter too. You know, she lives on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So I'm back and forth a lot. But you know, time, you know, it's a big lesson. You know, here I am in LA right now. My daughter's on the East Coast. This is time where I'm away from her, but this is also time when I'm here, I'm not fucking around because I want to work my ass off to help better my life, to obviously give her a better future. So yeah, I think time would be a big lesson that I really learned in the past year, to be honest with you. You know, I didn't really, it's weird, this sounds weird, but I didn't understand how valuable time is. You know, it goes quick, you know, that'd be a big lesson. And then another one is surrounding yourself with the right people. As cliche as that
Mhm.
sounds, like you think you got the right people in your corner, but you know, actually getting the real right people in your corner was a big lesson. You know, a lot of, especially in LA, it's all smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of fucking people here full of shit that you think are on your side, or they have these
Mhm.
things, or they've done these things, and you're trying to learn from these people. But really, you know, I could sit down with 10 people where I think they're all better than me, smarter than me. I'm going to learn. And then you kind of walk away after a couple months. Everyone was like, fuck, I was the smartest guy in this room. And you don't want to be in that room. You know, you want to be in the room where people can really help elevate you and better you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I saw on your Instagram page that you are doing collaboration merch with Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that one's I'm so excited for that project. You know, Floyd's got they got a franchise. It's called Mayweather Boxing and Fitness. They're opening up gyms all across the U.S. I don't know if I could talk about the one deal. I don't know if it's announced. I don't know, but they're doing U.S. right now. And they looked at me, you know, one of Floyd's right wing guys, Burrell Wilkes, is actually a guy who's one of my mentors. You know, the guy is just incredible. He's got books out about him. Yeah, he just believes in me, you know, to be the merch side of things, and I'm very grateful for that opportunity. Great team, you know, these guys. You know, I haven't met Floyd in person, but everything I hear about him is just he's working 24/7, you know, which it obviously shows, right? Look at his success.
Yeah.
So
he's another guy who like has. I mean, look at what he is now, which is insane. Like
yeah,
he is he is an inspiring person too. Like he really is with everything that I've read about him.
yeah,
It's amazing.
yep.
So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. We got a lot of stuff happening. You know, Space Zebra World has turned into this really cool Twitch show now.
Yeah.
Which is like my therapy, you know. So I'm very thankful for everyone who's joined the chat, and it's funny you mentioned starving artists earlier, because that's something that's really near and dear to me. That was my idea to bring on musicians that are unsigned or during the pandemic, you know, to come on, perform live, and all the donations, and sometimes we'll match the donations. Go 100% to the artist, and we just did our first one on Thursday, and we raised $1,000. So 2 artists got $500 to perform for 15 minutes. Like that's
and they were amazing performances too. Like I was shocked when I went to listen to Marlene Mendoza's other, like her YouTube channel.
Super metal.
Whoa,
yeah.
This is incredible. Completely different from her acoustic piano stuff. Like she can fucking scream. That's awesome.
You know, she's a solo artist too. She does all that herself too. So
wow.
Yeah, she's incredible. And actually they both landed a demo deal with Alchemy Records with Danny Wimmer. I don't think Marlene's going to accept it because I think she's got another deal going on. But Timmy Taylor, you know, he walked away with $500 cash, and then he got a record deal. So
that's so awesome. Like yeah. I loved his performances too. Like
incredible. He's incredible.
Yeah, you could really feel them.
Yeah,
like,
they are talented people.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of what Starving Artists and all the Space Zebra World shows. Like there were some awesome bands that you guys featured yesterday. Yep. Like I was literally headbanging. I'm like, that's damn, cool. This is good.
That's so cool. Yeah, I mean, so tonight, you know, for everyone listening, I don't know when this episode will air, but we, you know, Danny Wimmer presents. They are the leading rock and roll festival promoters in the States. They gave us one of their stage spots called their festival's called Welcome to Rockville. So we have a show called Battle to Rockville where we're taking unsigned artists. There's a submission form on our Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/DW Presents. You can submit your band. You got to be unsigned, and the chat votes, which is the coolest part because the chat's picking they're picking who wins Battle for Rockville.
It's so much fun too. It's so much fun to watch live.
Yeah, and you know what I love too about this platform for bands is being an unsigned artist. It's hard. Marketing's hard. It's hard to get your name out there. And I really wanted to use this platform to help bands be elevated a little bit, to put them in the spotlight. And there's so many people that'll be like, "Oh my God, added this band to my Spotify playlist," or "Oh my God, I bought this band's T-shirts and stuff." So watching it come full circle. And while we get to sit on the Wayne's World set, you know, it's so cool.
That is so cool. Like, yeah. What else are you excited for that's coming up with Starving Artists and Space Zebra World?
The growth. You know, the growth of the channel, I'm so excited about. All the positive feedback. You know, we got, you know, because Twitch is really watching us right now because we cut a deal with Twitch. And having, you know, the head music Twitch guy, you know, respond to us being like, hey, these numbers are insane and your interaction's insane. I mean, our first week we did over 500,000 live viewers. I mean, that's a 500,000 eyes, you know, on bands and
Yeah.
this that never would have seen them, you know. So I love that kind of shit. I think what drives me anymore these days is, you know, obviously seeing my daughter grow and be happy, but outside of family stuff, I love helping other people. I love seeing other people win. I love when bands, you know, DM me or write me on Discord, be like, dude, our streams jumped up, or holy shit, we sold more merch because of you, or holy shit, we got a demo deal because of this. You know, that is so fucking cool and exciting. And I just really want to build this community to be the biggest fucking thing ever in the rock and roll world, because I say it, I think rock and roll's dead. I think there is a lot of upcoming groups doing some really cool shit that really, like, to me, you know, you look at hip hop and you look at rap, kids want to be that because they're living that, you know, rappers are living that sex, drugs, rock and roll, right? They're on the private jets, you know, popping champagne with the girls, or you know, driving crazy cars, or, you know, like
Right.
what rock, you know what I'm trying to say, like what the 80s,
Yeah.
that, like, I just feel like, you know, you look at Machine Gun Kelly is doing a great job of, I'm a Machine Gun Kelly fan. I think what he's doing is great, because you take a guy like producer Jake, right, who only listens to rap and EDM, right? He's never been into rock. He didn't grow up on rock, right? That's why
I saw him headbanging a bit yesterday, though.
He's getting into it, right? And but, you know, outside of us getting producer Jake into rock, Machine Gun Kelly was really the guy who kind of tapped Jake on the shoulder, not physically, but, you know, Jake was like, hey, there's this dude Machine Gun Kelly. I liked his rap stuff, and he's going rock. Is this kind of what other rock bands sound like? And I'm like, kind of, dude. There's like, you know, there's different genres, subgenres. I'm like, he's like, oh, because I really like that. Then I'd be like, oh, well, if you like that, you might like, I don't know, like Alexis on Fire. Like, I'm just, you know, like, maybe not the super heavy. I'm like, bro, you might even dig Limp Bizkit. You might dig Avenged Sevenfold. And he's like, oh shit, this stuff's really cool. So when I think of Machine Gun Kelly, what he's doing for rock and roll is killer. Even like Ronnie Radke from Falling Reverse, same thing. I mean, they're definitely bringing that younger audience to rock, you know, which I think is so crucial, because it's the rappers right now, I think, are the rock stars in a way, if you think about it.
Yeah, what I love, like with what I'm seeing with all these festival lineups, is how they're integrating more rap artists in there, and it's bringing more people together, which is really, really cool to see.
I agree. And what I love about the rap world too is a lot of them are like, hey, fuck record labels, we don't need them. Fuck management, I'm gonna do it myself. Fuck merch deals, I'm gonna do it myself. And these guys are just hustlers. They just, you know, like a lot of the rappers I love and look up to, I just kind of look at their business model. Like, there's a rapper named Young Dolph, you know, and the thing I love about rappers that I wish rockers would do more of, which with Space Zebra, I'm trying to build. We're at ground level right now. I'm trying to build it up, but, you know, Young Dolph's a great example of, he got his own record label. And then, you know, he's got his own merch stuff. And then what he does is he puts on, you know, there's a rapper named Key Glock that I love, that they'll do features. And then next thing you know, they do records together. You know, like they legit will do records together, not just songs, but they do records. And then, you know, Young Dolph he's so big. And then next thing you know, Key Glock is like this the whole time. Like a lot of these rappers just build each other up, you know. I wish the rock world would take a little more of that. Like, how cool would a Metallica Avenged Sevenfold collaboration be? That's my dream.
That would be cool.
So, you know, Post Malone did it with Ozzy. Like, look at that. That was a massive song, you know. There's more stuff like that going on in the rock world, and I'm very fortunate, because I do think DWP is everything they do is about experiences at all their festivals and their mindset. So maybe we can make some things happen, some collaborations happen. That's my goal. It's my dream.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, what DWP festivals are you most looking forward to? What lineups?
I got it off the top of my head. Well, I know I love Aftershock because Limp Bizkit's playing. I've seen all the lineups like 50 million times. I just get them all blurred. They got Metallica at I think all of them.
Louder Than Life.
Louder Than Life.
I think they're playing Aftershock too.
They might be playing all. I know they're playing Aftershock. But I do love, I can't wait to see Limp Bizkit, Falling in Reverse. I'm really excited for Falling in Reverse because pre-pandemic, Ronnie was playing, venues. I think he's going to be a guy that when he goes out on these next tours, I think he's going to be playing mini arenas like minor league hockey stadiums.
Right.
I really do.
They're another band who has, mental health, awareness in their lyrics.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I wish Avenged Sevenfold was playing. I'm excited to see Machine Gun Kelly. I'm very excited to see Machine Gun Kelly. I think we will be at all the festivals, by the way. We will be broadcasting Space Zebra live at all the festivals. I will be at them all. I'm actually honestly looking forward to every single one of them because it's live music. I get to interact with people. So, obviously, Welcome to Rockville is going to be. I'm really looking forward to because I can't wait to see the band who wins it all get to perform live. That'll be. So yeah, Aftershock's probably the best because you got Limp Bizkit, and I cannot wait to see Limp Bizkit live again.
We should start some sort of social media riot to get Limp Bizkit on all of the festivals.
I wish, yeah. I would be down for that. I'm into that.
I've never seen them live before. Surprisingly.
Yeah, you're gonna go crazy when you see them live.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's gonna be sick. And then at Rockville, producer Jake, we have a floaty boat that he's gonna crowd surf live on Twitch, all the way from the back of the crowd to the front of the stage, and then back again.
That's right. That was a part of the show yesterday where you guys came up with that.
Yes. That's the one thing about the Space Zebra show. If you're listening, we stream Sundays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. You never know what the fuck's gonna happen. It's always fun. You get to discover a lot of new unsigned artists. If you're a musician and you want to come on and perform live, we do it every Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. It's a morning show. You come on, you perform live. All the donations and tips goes to you. So you never know what's going to happen on the show. Like we have a massive guest coming on Thursday. When does this air? When are you going to put this out?
Hopefully by tomorrow. I'm going to edit it and hopefully put it together. So okay.
We got a massive guest. I can't give it away too early yet because they're confirmed, but I gotta chill. But Thursday morning you show up 9:30 a.m. is gonna be crazy. 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. 9:30 a.m. Pacific.
All right. Well, those are all of my questions pretty much. Yeah. Cool. So, I was going to ask, what was your first mosh pit experience?
First mosh pit, it would have been like a 18 Vision show. Because that was a band that I just would always go to shows and being front stage because I just always wanted to be right there and I would have been like 16 maybe 15 16 being like holy shit, but yeah, it would have definitely been with them for sure.
I know, because with all the pandemic stuff going on, not having shows, that's all I'm thinking about lately is mosh pit experiences, all of my first show experiences. So yeah, it's interesting to hear what other people's are.
Yeah, I'm honestly out of everything that's going on in my life right now, I have so much going on and so much to look forward to. And the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is seeing producer Jake crowd surf in a boat dressed like a 1700s captain at Aftershock or one of them. Maybe we do it at every fucking festival. I don't know, but
that would be awesome.
Broadcasting live on Twitch with a what's that, like a telescope thing or whatever it's called. I can't wait to see that. That's only thing I live I go to bed hoping a festival's tomorrow. It's like Christmas or whatever you as a kid.
I know, right?
I can't wait for that, right? So
yeah, it's good to see concerts or festivals coming back. In the United States, anyway.
It's just great. I mean, the whole, being here in LA where the pandemic obviously hit really hard. Things are opening. People people are living, you know, it's great. It's healthy. I love seeing people happy. I love seeing businesses thriving.
Yeah.
You know, obviously being smart, being careful, you know, keeping everyone healthy along the way. It's just great. It's just great to see people back to somewhat normal, I guess. I would say we're about
Yeah.
I feel like we're 90% there personally.
Yeah, I would say so.
Especially here in LA. I mean, I think the mask mandate, I think it lifts today actually.
Nice.
I think it lifts today or tomorrow. You know, but just making sure everyone's healthy and good. I just love seeing people happy and healthy. And
Yeah.
if your business is open and you're making money, I love it, you know, and you're doing well. Bands touring, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing too. People forget. I mean, how many musicians that tour? I mean, you know, you got like the fans of the bands are therapy for them. Being on stage is therapy for them. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's going to be great. I mean, obviously, a lot of my friends are in the entertainment space, so seeing them get their careers back makes me so happy.
Yeah, it makes me happy too, because it just was surreal to see the entire music world come to a standstill.
Brutal. Yeah, I mean, and even like gyms and stuff. I mean, that's people's, you know, that's your outlet. You know, that's a
Yeah.
big part of mental health. You know, so but we're back. Um, keep going, right? Just keep on going. So
Yeah.
cool.
All right. Well, yeah, those are all of my questions. And thank you. Truly,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview. It has been so inspiring and uplifting as well. So,
That's so cool. Thanks for even wanting to have me interview. Sorry I didn't have Wes or Balls, or you got producer Jake for a little bit, but yeah, I'm you know we're all very thankful you even wanted to feature us. So thank you.
well, thank you. And yeah, geez, it's been so long since I've done an interview, but like I almost forget how to end them.
No, you're great. No, you're great. We could end it with we'll see you on the stream tonight. We go live 3:30 Pacific time. We got the Sweet 16 tonight. By the time this goes out, we'll be down to Elite 8. So find us on twitch.tv/DW Presents, and we'll be there hanging out and fucking with producer Jake.
All right. Well, Damnation Vault will be there watching live too.
Bring some friends, send the link around. We'll see you tonight.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.